Greetings everyone, welcome back to Blade Bias. Today we have another package unboxing. This is a pass around from Shattered Concept, known for the Rift, which I checked out at the end of last year. This is his new design, the Ruined, and this is a pass around, so I'm just going to really quickly read this note. Thank you for checking out the Ruined Trainer. First off, there is a Ruined sticker for each of you to have one, so feel free to take and keep one. That's really cool of him. The holographic sticker needs to stay in the box. I will keep that in mind. They are for you to show off and mention in a video if you do feel like you want to and have the time to do so. There's no requirement, but of course, some sort of public message does help me. Pass around is more for direct feedback from you all. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the Ruined Trainer for the week that you have it, and please DM me with any feedback that you may have with it. Here are some details. If you're curious, feel free to ask. So we have a 5.6 handle length, a 4.7 blade length, inches, 7075 aluminum, 440C stainless steel blade, channel handles 3.9 ounces, bushings with steel washers, interesting, on a light handle bias. And yeah, so this is something I've been fairly interested in. The Rift, let's actually show off these stickers. Which one's the holographic one? I'm assuming this one. This is an Aeropo design, if I am not mistaken, and I will absolutely be taking one of those for myself. So the Rift was a ballad song that I enjoyed but didn't love. So I was definitely interested to check out his next design. Unfortunately for what this is probably going to be, he did mention to me that the blade is still kind of like the Rift had a very short blade and handle ratio. The blade was pretty short on that. And I believe that at least this version of the Rift is the same. I wasn't 100% clear if he said he was going to change that for the production or not. I know he mentioned it would be changed, but I'm not going to say by how much because I don't know for sure. But let's check this thing out. It comes in a beautiful 3D printed gray and blue, holy cow, gray and green package with some extra hardware, bushings, washers, etc. And this trainer looks very, very, very cool. I have to admit, it looks fantastic. So let's throw that in there. Make sure not to lose anything for the pass around. That would suck, wouldn't it? So here we have the Ruined, and yeah, as you can see, the blade is still very, very short in there. I don't have any comparison ballad songs because I packed them all up after recording my entire collection video, which will be coming out soon. I don't know exactly when because my upload schedule is a little frantic right now. What is a ballad song? Let's go with the Kraken Trainer. You can see the Kraken Trainer has a pretty good blade handle ratio. I mean, these might even be the same exact length handles. They're very similarly length handles. So if we take a handle of the Kraken, you can see that they're very similar in length. But then, if we compare the blades, I don't even know the best way to do this. I don't know, man. It looks way shorter when it's closed, but I guess it isn't too much shorter. Anyway, I mean, I gave you all the specs. I think this thing's available for pre-order. I actually don't even know. I gotta be honest with you. Yeah, let's just flip it. Let's see how it goes. Let's see if this is going to be a little bit better for me than the Rift was. Because the Rift was it was a ballad song that I knew people would appreciate, but one that I couldn't appreciate myself, just for a few little issues that I had. So I do genuinely hope that this one is a little bit better. Ooh, baby. I like the fans. I'm not doing any other tricks yet, even though I just did a bunch of rollovers. That fans extraordinarily well. Not extraordinarily. It fans really well. It's got not rounded handles, but rounded square handles. So the choker fans and the fans feel very, very good. It fans well. Now, if the chaplains and rollovers can keep up, this would actually be pretty fire. Okay. I like it better than the Rift already. The Shattered Rift. The Ruined is better. Also, Ruined, side note, Ruined is a very strange name. Oh yeah, I got the Ruined. Oh, it's ruined. Okay, so wow. Actually, I need to sit down and actually just look at this thing. This thing is very, very interesting. This design. We have a singular hole cutout up the handle. Not towards the end. Not even really close to the end. No other hole cutouts except for these chamfers and this big cutout back here. Small cutout up here. I mean, usually you'd want to switch those. There's a little more end weight. Although I don't really think this needs it. I think it carries enough momentum as it is. One of the challenges with doing an aluminum trainer with no pivots at the end, if you wonder why most aluminum trainers have pivots here, of course I picked the one in my collection that doesn't have that. Geez, what the heck? I make this point and now I can't even find one that correctly demonstrates my view. If you wonder why a lot of balisongs have these pivots, it's a really easy way to get momentum and weight into the ends of the handles, which is required for you to swing them around efficiently. So, a lot of the time, if you don't have that, it can be a little bit difficult to generate and keep momentum on some of these designs. Case in point being something like the Baikal. While I love the Baikal, it definitely does struggle with a little bit of that end weight momentum. And especially something like the Hognose. The original Hognose did not have those pivots, and it created a very, very strange experience where it just didn't feel like it had enough handle weight. And I think that the Ruined has kind of avoided that issue. I am detecting a little bit of weirdness here. I'm going to have to figure out what that is over the week that I have this. But I can tell you that it definitely, to my hand, to my preferences, flips better than the Rift did because of... Did I just mess up? I might have just messed up my camera angle by looking down. Because of all of that weight at the end of the handles. But I just got extremely, extremely distracted. Supremely distracted, actually. No, we're good. Because the big thing I notice about this design is this massive area in the blade here where there is no hole cutout, nothing. That is probably contributing a ton of weight towards the blade, which is making the chaplains not bad by any means, but the chaplains, 0Gs, rollover, stuff like that aren't the stickiest that I've ever felt. It almost makes me wonder if he did a single, I mean, just based on the design here, maybe just another single longer, thinner line here. So this could be like the thick line that echoes this in the bottom here. And then you have a thin line up here, a hole cutout, just to remove a tiny bit of that weight, move some of the weight more towards the handles. It hopefully wouldn't result in the fans becoming too much worse, but it would make those chaplains and rollovers slightly more consistent. I will say, it is not as inconsistent as I found the Rift. The Rift I felt would just go out of control kind of randomly. This does have stable chaplains, does have stable rollovers. I don't really think it needs that change, but I'd be very curious to see what that change actually did. Yeah, I'm actually very impressed with this thing. I'm liking it far more than I liked the Rift. I am really, really enjoying this color scheme. This kind of gunmetal gray with this beautiful green. One of my favorite greens I've actually seen in a balisong in a long time. That kind of deep forest green. I mean, yeah, it does what you... Whoopsies. It does what you want it to do enough of the time. Especially as I get used to it. There are still, you can notice I'm kind of doing normal tricks and dropping it on those, because there are a few moments where it just kind of spins out, and I don't really know if that's to do with maybe the less handle weight down here because of the no pivots, if it's the blade. I should also mention the companies that don't do the pivots at the end of the handles. You can see that so you can see these are almost exactly the same handle length, but what the wing does to counter the fact that it doesn't have pivots here, and the wing is a balisong that I don't think has any issues with momentum in the handles, but what the wing does to counter that is you can see that the channel starts way further down the handle than the Ruined does. So there's far more room here, but also this sort of relief inside that angled area that curves up comes up way quicker and goes way further down, whereas here you can see, I mean, maybe you can see, it's a more gradual slope. So that ultimately means that there's even more weight being pushed towards the end of the handles here for something like the wing. Again, I don't think that the Ruined needs that. I think he has done a good job of avoiding the issues that you do sometimes face with a pivotless aluminum design. And in fact, man, I really like how this thing fans and choker fans. Yeah, it fans and choker fans very, very well. I'm just getting a little bit of weirdness on some of those chaplains and rollovers like I kind of did with the Rift, but not nearly as bad. So I think ultimately, holy cow, very good first impression. I'm going to have to sit on the things that I said in this video and kind of cook on them before I give you my update video, before I send this thing out to the next person in the pass around. Please go check out Shattered Concepts. You can find him on Instagram, and I believe he also has a website of the same name. If you're interested in this thing, dude, I mean, depending on how this week goes, I might even be interested in one of these things. It's been a long time since I've opened up my wallet for a balisong, and I think the time for that to come is very soon. I don't know what I'm going to get. I have a few ideas, but this might have just been added to the list. So good job, Shattered. Genuinely. There is something, I don't know what it is, but there is something incredibly alluring about this to me. Like, this is going to be one of those balisongs that I see on my desk. I'm just going to want to pick it up and flip it. So I'm actually very excited to see how much... I'm really excited to see how this week goes. Because, I mean, already, man, I'm getting more used to it, and it's not feeling as weird to me. Double scissor, yes, sir. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I think that's enough for first impressions. Huge thank you to Shattered for sending this thing over. Part of a pass round, so I don't get to keep it, so I don't feel that normal disclaimer is necessary. But as usual, any thoughts and opinions are my own. And yeah. I think that sorry, I'm just looking. Handle length and oh, I shouldn't do that. Handle length and trainer length. 5.6 plus 4.7. That's 9. 10.3 inches overall. It's pretty standard, but it still feels short to me. 10.3 inches overall is quite a lot. I think that's more than the Kraken trainer. Wait. Hold on, I'm just having one of my usual... No, it's shorter than the Kraken trainer. Maybe the Kraken trainer is 10.5. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know, man. I've kept you guys here long enough. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Later. Nah, dude, this thing is fire. Oh my gosh, I continued flipping it after the video. This is glow up of the century right here, and it hasn't even been that long. Oh, I'm excited for the next week.